Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. This is Reyes Amides, and you're here with the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. Um, I've fortunately been able to take a little bit of a break, but I'm back better than ever. We'll see that in a second. You let me know. But today, again, as always, we're going to be going through the Resource Roundup. Usually we were on Tuesdays, but now we're switching on to Thursdays in conjunction with our resource newsletter that goes out the first Thursday of every month. And so if you haven't been here before, the Resource Roundup is a quick show that we're doing that highlights the resources that are hosted on our our opportunity page, rather, on our website. We have a board that people can upload, but also things that I find just out and about in the cyber world, that are opportunities that I think are useful for artists, primarily based in Houston, where we are Fresh Arts, but also beyond that. So again, subscribe to this newsletter, the Artist Resource Newsletter. And again, you're going to get every first Thursday of the month a list of resources, of links, and deadlines straight to your inbox. And so the Resource Roundup itself is kind of an overview, and it's tips and ideas that I can give you just based off of my expertise and my experience of applying for things. And so it'll be the first Thursday of every month, the Resource Newsletter and the Resource Roundup, but also in the Resource Roundup, we'll be doing it the third week of the month, just to get you any last minute deadlines or anything new that pops up. Or also including any other resources that we think you'll find useful. And so you might find that some resources aren't in the form of like deadlines or grants or fellowships. Some might be in services or centers that providing a certain service or resource. So we'll let you know of those too during the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. And so there you go. First and third Thursday of the month to stay up to date on local opportunities and resources. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you some deadlines and some opportunities that are coming up, which I think you'll find useful. And then I'll give you some ideas or some ways to kind of like go at something to go through a certain angle or not. Before I do, I just want to let you know that I am wearing a shirt by local Houston artist Honey Bones HTX. It's a gorgeous shirt. I love it. I received it I think kind of like 2 months ago or something like that, and I've been wearing it. I love it. So really great art. Check out the page. Really great work. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we're going to get to it. All right, so here's our artist opportunity board. And so as you can see, people are welcome to fill out with any opportunities that they have. So just let us know. You submit through here, and I'll look through it, and I'll upload it. And so here you'll get all the deadlines. You get all the good stuff. Here you'll get what it's primarily for and when it's due. And here you can look up whether it be to your discipline. And in here you can look over whether or not it's a grant, a job, a residency, a call for entry, all that good stuff. All right, so the first thing I want to highlight is the Craft Her Box Scholarship Program, which I believe is being put on by BossBabes Austin, Texas. They're a really great group. BossBabes, people on our staff, particularly Angela, will sing of their praises. They're a really great group of people. But here they have something called the Craft Her Box Scholarship Program. It's primarily for artists, particularly women and non-binary creatives and small business owners who work in craft, who make something right that can be taken away, whether it be cards or I believe kind of like, from what I understand here, like cards or any crafts in regards to like paper or like mugs, all that good stuff. So here you'll get a really cool virtual booth in the Craft Her Market 2020. That's due in October. A booth fee for the BossBabes Austin, Texas market in 2021. All that good stuff. So this is a really great opportunity for someone who works in crafts. And the thing though is that it's due today. So work on that. If this is for you, then do it. This is due tonight. Up next, we have the DiverseWorks 2020 Fall Diverse Discourse Lecture and Virtual Studio Visit Series. This is a really, really great program for any artists that are looking to get kind of any feedback or speak to a curator or speak to a arts professional and get some feedback on the art to get a second set of eyes. It's a fairly straightforward process to apply. It's just a work sample checklist, a resume or CV, and an artist statement. And so I believe it's particularly for Houston artists. Yes, must work or reside in Harris County. It's really cool. I did it the last time, the last round, and I was able to speak to an arts professional, and it was a really, really great experience. And they gave me stuff to read. I ran some ideas by them, and it was a really, really cool experience. It's virtual, so you're going to get that Zoom call. And for me, it went incredible. Here, in this time, it's Adria Luis, who is the curator of digital and emerging practice at the Smithsonian Asian Pacific American Center. So usually what it is like they'll do, DiverseWorks will invite someone to do a lecture, and then they'll have studio visits with artists. So this is a really great program. It's free, and that is due Tuesday, September 8th. Up next, we have the Idea Fund 2020-2021 remote internship. This is a great opportunity for university/college enrolled student or young professional, and this is a paid internship opportunity to work in nonprofit arts administration. The Idea Fund, if you don't know, they are a re-granting sort of amalgamation of different organizations, primarily DiverseWorks, or a picture show, Project Row Houses. I believe that's it. If my apologies if I left you out. No, it's right here. DiverseWorks, or picture show, Project Row Houses, and it is funded by the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts. And so here it's the internship. It's kind of like the coordinator of it. But one thing to do keep an eye out for is the Idea Fund itself, which itself is a really great grant program. But they're looking for someone to do a paid internship to, I believe, help in the administration of it. That is due September 11th, Friday. Obviously, it's free to apply. Yeah, and it's 6 to 10 hours per week, $15 an hour. So it's really good. Obviously, student, university enrolled professional, or someone who's interested in nonprofit arts administration. Up next, we have Nameless Sound. They are looking for an administrative coordinator. We're a fan here at Fresh Arts of Nameless Sound, and so we imagine they'll be great to work with. And so you'll be they're looking for an administrative coordinator to support the organization's work in areas of development, advertising, promotion for events and workshops, website maintenance, email marketing, concert production, data admin, and financial management. It's a remote position for now, which is nice. And that is due Monday, September 14th, 2020. This particularly is a kind of an experimental music organization. They recently did this program where they had an order service where you could order one of their musicians, to go to your home, and they will play, obviously from a safe distance, but they played at your home. And so if you're into helping things like that happen, this is a great organization to work with. So again, this is due Monday, September 14th. And so up next, we have a lot of residencies. I think it's an interesting, again, like kind of the dynamics with residencies. If you don't know what a residency is, it's usually a form of support for an artist that looks like providing a space, and usually stipend, to an artist to go somewhere and to work on their craft, or to work on something that may or may not be presented at the end of the residency. So usually you are invited to go somewhere, and you go there, do your thing, and then leave. And And so normally, under these current circumstances, this is, not ideal in terms of like moving around, going to different places. But the really cool thing about this is that, one, it's a fully funded fellowship of up to 30 days between July 1st, 2021 and January 31st, 2023. So there's really a huge window to complete this residency. You receive $1,000. You are reimbursed with your travel expenses up to $750 and includes a studio, a bedroom, and meals in a community of over 20 professional writers, visual artists, and composers. This year, or at least this one, will be given to a visual artist and kind of like someone with experience who have been working at this for a while. And so this is due September 15th, Tuesday. It is free to apply. So definitely check this out if this applies to you. This is for visual artists. This is the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts, the Wachtmeister Award. Up next, we have the Printing Museum. Again, another great organization here in Houston. And they're announcing a new artist residency program for fall 2020. This is for artists of anyone who does kind of book arts. So like paper making, letterpress, printmaking, book bindery. I suppose anything that really like, you hold in your hands that is book related. And so the residency lasts 3 months. And though you're not required to live in the Houston area, you are expected to go into the studio to produce work. And so this is host 2 artists for a 3-month residency. You get a $500 material stipend, a private tutorials, studio membership, and you get access to the Printing Museum's letterpress, printmaking, papermaking, bookbinding studios, exhibit opportunities, all that good stuff. And so this is free to apply. This again, I've made kind of chapbooks before, but nothing like this. And so this seems like a really, really cool opportunity to do something with access to some really amazing resources and tools. And so they don't expect you to have an extensive studio experience there, and that's why they're offering up to 12 hours of private tutorials, which again, I think is another great aspect to this, is that you're actually learning as you go along in this residency. So there you go. It's free and due September 15th. Up next, we have the Hodder Fellowship. This is at Princeton University. So again, like if you're gonna go, if you're gonna aim, aim high. And so this is one of those really good instances where some high stakes, kind of more established residencies. And I say that because this is an $84,000 stipend for a 10-month appointment to go to Princeton. So I imagine it's really, really selective. It's really, really competitive. And so this is something that's, I think, good to apply for, because if you get it, you get 84 grand. If you don't get it, you get that experience, you get that practice of applying to high stakes stuff, and you'll kind of get into the rhythm of seeing what is worth your time and what isn't, right? For me as a principal, I try to apply at least to one high stakes thing a year. Obviously one that's affordable. This is, I believe, free, or it's either free or very minimal cost to apply, from what I understand, if I looked at it correctly. But this is a really good opportunity. Obviously, in addition to the 84 grand, you also get the prestige of the position itself. A lot of my favorite writers have received this fellowship, but it's also open to visual artists as well, and performing artists. So I primarily know this through writing, writers such as Eduardo C. Corral. The other names are lost on me, but I mean, like a lot of my favorite, like a lot of writers I respect went through this fellowship, and well, hopefully you can too. So definitely check this out. This is due September 15th, 5 p.m. Eastern time, and it is, I believe, fairly inexpensive to apply to, if not free. Up next, we have the Artpace San Antonio 2022 International Artist in Residence Program. And so Artpace is in San Antonio. They're a really great space. It's really cool. I've been there, and it's like a two-story, if I remember, two-story space. And the exhibitions from the ones I've been to have always been amazing. Have always been great. And so this is kind of part of how they develop those relationships. They develop those really great exhibitions is through an investment in these residencies. And so Artpace annually hosts 3 residencies. Each residency includes 1 Texas artist, 1 national artist, and 1 international artist, all selected by guest curator. So an Artpace residency includes travel expenses, a living stipend, materials budget, an apartment, and a studio exhibition space. So this is pretty extensive in what is being provided. Resident artists have access to fully equipped wood and metal workshops and a digital media studio, in addition to technical and administrative support. It's an 8-week residency, and it culminates in a 2-month exhibition. So this seems like an amazing, if I were a visual artist, I'd definitely apply to this. I believe usually it costs $15 to apply, but they're waiving that fee, so it's free. It is free $99 to apply to this. So, you know, you only lose some time. And again, like if you have a good practice of applying to things, you know, these things become easier and easier to apply to because you'll have those materials ready. And so if you do this normally, if you apply a lot, this is another great thing to add. If you haven't applied to things before, again, you get better by starting and by practicing. And so this is a really great program to practice with or to apply to. And the final thing I want to talk about today, this is due at the end of the month, September 30th. This is the USW Project Grants with Poets and Writers. And so normally there is a reading grant that you can do, like a virtual reading grant, but this one is particular for, and what makes it special is that this is offering project grants that are up to 3 sessions, right? And so like usually maybe you'd apply to this to Poets and Writers reading grant, reading and workshop grant to do a one-off. But the thing that makes this really unique and cool is that it goes up to 3 session project, right? So you think about like maybe you'll do a reading, maybe you'll do a workshop, then a reading, and then a community conversation, which I think seems like a really cool like combination that I haven't thought about. Or you can just do 3 straight up readings of things, or you can do 3 straight up workshops, or 3 community conversations. And so I think this is a really cool idea and a really cool resource to apply to. So this is for writers, and we are luckily in the part that Poets and Writers funds. So this is for Detroit, Houston, and New Orleans. And guess what? We are in H-Town. And so this is really something that it's free to apply to. You must identify as Black, Indigenous, or a person of color, reside in Houston, and be a published writer of poetry, fiction, or creative nonfiction, or have performing credits as a spoken word artist. And so again, this is free. This is another time to again get up your virtual, to up your virtual presence, to up your virtual resume, and putting on those events. So definitely apply to this. Definitely consider this. Is due at the end of the month, September 30th. Ooh, all right. So there you have it. These are things that, again, I totally encourage you to apply to. They're usually free or low cost to apply to. So really, you lose most just in applying to these your time. And again, these are things that if you keep applying to, you're going to get better at, and you're going to have those materials ready. So you spend less time each time you apply because you'll be ready. And so there you have it. Those are the resources. Those are not all the resources, actually. Those are not all the deadlines. Those are not all the opportunities. Those are saved for the resource newsletter, which you can subscribe for free. Again, we are all about the accessibility, the affordability of these resources. And so sign up for our newsletters right there. And again, you'll get the resource newsletter today at 4 p.m. If you subscribe. So you still have some time. You have a few hours to subscribe if you're watching this live. And again, subscribe. It's a free service. And so with that in mind, that concludes the resource aspect of this. But another thing I do want you all to be up to speed with is here at Fresh Arts, we're working on a number of projects and new cool stuff that we think you're going to like. And so in the past, we've done the Fresh Arts discussions. Not saying those are going away, but another thing to look out for is we're going to be launching a podcast. This is a new thing we're working on. It's something we developed in-house, but it's a podcast. And we probably don't have a fancy graphic for it right now, but we will. But just to give you an idea, it is called Should I or Shouldn't I? And it'll be a podcast where we discuss issues that are relevant to an artist's career. And we'll discuss should they or shouldn't they make a certain decision. And so the format is we're going to be posing a main central question, and then we're going to have two artists of different backgrounds who reach different decisions and conclusions, but succeeded either way. And so some of the questions we have planned to discuss, and again, it's different guests each show to kind of get those really cool different nuances and aspects. And so like one would be, should I or shouldn't I get an MFA? Should I or shouldn't I move to a different city for an art scene? And so really cool conversations that we think you'll like. So stay tuned for that, for details on that, a release date, and another fancy graphic like this one. And so, yep, stay tuned, please. And so another thing I finally want to say is to, again, join our squad and to be a friend of Fresh Arts. Putting on programs like these that are free, that are accessible to the artist, to the community at large. It takes time and it takes funds, and so please donate today. And in particular, if you donate this month, your donation will be matched by a board member. So really, you're going to double your impact. So please consider donating. Please think about how these services do get to artists. How do we provide this information? And by becoming a friend, you'll be a direct beneficiary of that. So again, hashtag become our friend to support our efforts to provide resources and virtual programming to artists. The Fresh Arts Board is excited to announce a $10,000 match now through September 15th. So donate today to double your impact. And there you have it. Oh yes, and please, again, those are all the ways in which Fresh Arts and a lot of things that we provide for free to artists and to you. And so please join the artist registry, attend a virtual workshop, tap into local arts happenings, discover tips and tools for your art business, search jobs and opportunities, and apply for fiscal sponsorship. These are all things that we offer through Fresh Arts. So sign up for our newsletters and take advantage of those resources that we're offering. So there you have it. Check us out at www.fresharts.org. And yeah, so I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay well. And I'll see you next time. So again, stay tuned to the great things that we're doing. So have a good one.